Hello there, this is James and you're watching Tixee Live. And a very good afternoon to all of you. In today's little program, I want to discuss a certain story which has come out during the European trading session and have a quick look at maybe the implications this means, not necessarily to the commodity itself, but there's something else. And as well as that, of course, we'll talk a little bit about a certain Jay Powell and his round two with Congress. But before we get to that, don't forget, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be treated as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research, do your own due diligence, and of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Now, with that out of the way, let's crack on. Now, as you know, this morning I spoke a little bit about obviously commodities which were under pressure, the energies in particular. And we'll, of course, we'll do a recap of where oil is at the moment. But there's something else I want to talk about, which is a story which has come out today. And this is about gas supply to the European, or to Europe, and European Union, whatever you want to call it, to Europe. Because today, Germany has taken a step closer to issuing rations on gas. It's actually activated stage 2 of its emergency gas plan, and the gas plan stage 2 is called alarm. Surprisingly, I don't know. So yeah, they've put this into place. So basically, what this means, stage 2 of the plan, okay, basically passes on the cost to users, to consumers, not Joe Public, not yet, but it could do in this stage, but to factories and industries which use gas. So they now have to carry the cost of, or help contribute a lot more to the cost of gas, because obviously there is a gas shortage issue in Europe. Because let's face it, Europe have been very, proactive with sanctions against Russian oil. Like I said, they're looking at banning or by basically reducing oil to using Russian oil production by the end of the year to 95%. What was that? I can't remember the exact number, but they've committed to that. But when it comes to gas, when it comes to Russian gas, they haven't been so forthright, understandably, because they rely on it heavily. And in fact, because Russia is actually limiting supply of gas to Europe, the German economy minister, Robert Habeck, has said, we must not fool ourselves. The cut in gas supplies is an economic attack on us by Putin. That's to the point. That's what he's saying. So the thing is, Russia supplies about 40% of EU's demand for natural gas. Okay, so clearly, if Germany's gone to stage 2 of its emergency gas plan, there is serious questions about how much that the gas shortage is affecting Europe. So this is a big deal. Stage 3, which is called the emergency, means that basically the government will step in and ration gas to everybody, including Joe Public, including the Joe Public consumers as well. So, but the thing, this is the thing I want to talk about. Obviously, we know gas prices have been extremely high, especially European gas prices, very high because of obviously the shortage thing. But there's something else I want to look at, because it's not just the homes and the heating and things like that. It's the amount of industry in Germany uses gas, okay? Huge amount of industry using gas. And Germany, as we know, is Europe's biggest economy. So if they're going to have gas shortages, and we're doing stage 2 now, which is putting the additional cost on industries, then of course we're already facing potential economic slowdown. I mean, in fact, just today, just to go back over this data which we had this morning, German manufacturing PMI was announced at 52 versus 54 expected. Okay, it was a lot lower than expected. But to put that in perspective, okay, if I look at the German PMI, like I say, Germany is Europe's biggest economy. If you look at their PMI, okay, and this is when we can put it in perspective. In January, it was 60.5. In February, it was 58.5. In March, 57.6. In April, 54.1, and in May, 54.7. Okay, and we're at 52 today. Now, bear in mind, any number under 50 is considered very bad news, and we're approaching that number now. So yeah, so this leads me into thinking, okay, we're going to have more economic slowdown in the EU, potentially because of this situation, which of course could potentially weaken European stocks as well as the euro itself, obviously. But the other thing which makes me wonder about this, and why I wanted to talk about it today, is will this make the ECB more hesitant in their interest rate decisions? Would this make them suddenly think, hang on a second, with industry slowdown, with the gas shortage of this, by increasing interest rates, we're going to put further strains on already a slowing down economy. So this will certainly pop in to the ECB's mind. So I think this is a story which could be quite interesting to watch over the coming trading sessions and see really what the implications of this could really be. But let's have a quick look at the euro. Where it stands at the moment, because at the beginning of the session we were trading around about this level, around 105.055. Okay, sorry, a little bit lower than that. Sorry, but we were just under the 104 level. We've gone back above the 105 again, but it is sort of range trading in particular. That's the key level of interest, remember, which we put in 2 days ago, which is a potential area of resistance, which is 15078. So yeah, it's just, it's very sideways pretty much at the moment as it stands. If we look at the euro against the yen, because the yen's performed quite well. What's more, my bad. If you look euro against the yen, okay, we see that the yen has gained a bit of strength against it. It's sort of activating its little bit of its safe haven status today, the yen. For example, the dollar, which we'll look at in a second, that's actually trading around 134 now. So we're seeing a little bit of yen becoming a safe haven again. So this is why the euro is obviously down against the yen as well. So yeah, euro sideways, but still pretty pressured. Still seeing a fair bit of dollar strength with that at the moment. Let's talk about some other news. So that's the gas story anyway. I just think it'd be interesting to see how that develops, and certainly how manufacturing and industry gets impacted by this. So it'd be something more to keep an eye on. Other news. We had the US initial claims was announced about 45 minutes ago. Okay, 45 minutes ago. It came in worse than expected, 229,000 versus 227,000 expected. Don't forget, the two initial claims is the number of people who initially are signing on for unemployment benefit. So obviously, the higher the number, more unemployed people for the first time. Okay, so it's not a scary number, to be fair. It's been around 129 last month. So it's been quite stable, but still, that's 129,000 people signing on for unemployment benefit. So we got to watch that. And don't forget, the Fed has always said, okay, that the US economy can handle these rate hikes because they have a strong labor market. So that's one thing now to be worth keeping an eye on. Sorry, throat dry. So that's something else which has come out again today as well. So it'll be interesting to watch how that unfolds. And of course, now the market is waiting. We're waiting for round 2 of Jerome Powell's testimony to Congress. Okay. Don't forget yesterday, he spooked the market. He said that recession is possible. In a nutshell, he said recession was possible. He said that basically they are transfixed with getting inflation down to their 2% target, absolutely obsessed with it. And he also said that there is no limit, not his words, obviously, there's no limit to how many basis points the next interest rate hike could be. No limit to the next interest rate hike. So the market now thinks it could be 50, could be 75, even could be 100 basis points. So the question asks, can the US economy handle a rate hike that large this quickly. So anyway, that's the thing. But let's have a look at the market, some other things as well. And I have an interesting little tidbit about Bitcoin, which I read today, which is quite interesting. Let's have a quick look at the cable, how the cable is performing. Okay, it's still trading around the 122 level, actually 122.58. It tested, remember that level we looked at earlier on, 121.976, and it did indeed act as a potential resistance, and the market bought in again. It's trading round the 100-day moving average and the 200-day moving average, not close to the top Bollinger Band as it stands either. And the RSI is right in the middle of the 1730, so it's not really giving us any indication. This is on a 30-minute chart. Yeah, if we look at a 4-hour chart, again, not massive, but it's having a little bit of a bounce back at the moment against the dollar. Let's have a look at the dollar yen. I spoke about this. Yen's getting a little bit of a fight back. It's trading currently at 134.84. Again, I think this is down to the fact that the yen is activated. Press the button, has activated its safe haven status, and that's why the market is looking at the yen. There was a little bit of hope and rumors as well of a BOJ intervention at some point, so that is also being factored in. But I still think overall, until we see proper interaction by a BOJ, I still think the bulls will push the dollar against the yen higher again at some point. Okay, what else? Let's have a look at, we'll have a quick look at gold, because we looked at gold again this morning. Yes, still sort of trading above that key level of $1,828. Fairly still range trading today. I think at the moment, obviously the market is waiting for the US to open for obviously round 2 of Powell's testimony. So yeah, that's that. But there's something else I wanted to talk to you about. Something else I wanted to bring up. I read this and I thought it was quite interesting. Not to say for a second I agree with this guy's analysis, though. Agree with this guy's analysis. I'm not saying for a second that I do. Excuse me, sorry. I'm not saying that I agree with it, but Bitcoin, as we've been watching, is still trading between a tight range of 20,355, okay, and the potential resistance of 20,929. Because as you remember, a couple of trading sessions ago, it was trying to get back in the 21,000 level, but it wasn't able to keep the momentum. But anyway, I read this thing, which I thought I'd share with you. This is not my opinion, by the way, not my opinion. But Mark Morbus, okay, he's the founder of Morbus Partners Capital, which is a big fund. He says, or in his opinion, he thinks Bitcoin is a leading indicator to the stock market. Because he says his words, when Bitcoin goes down or drops, the next day, the Dow Jones goes down. And he says that's the pattern. I'm not entirely convinced by that, but I'm not entirely convinced by that. The only connection I can see with cryptos and with the stock market is they're considered high risk. So obviously, if the market is nervous, then risky assets will drop. Okay, as the market moves its money into safer assets. So that's the only connection I can see. I can't, I definitely won't suggest that if you see Bitcoin drop one day, sell Dow Jones the next day. I don't think for a second, I don't see that. But that's an interesting tidbit I thought I'd share with you on that. Okie doke. So yeah, that's where the market stands, fairly tepid. At the moment, let's have a quick look at the S&P 500. It's still around the 3,786 points, okay? This is on a 30-minute chart, so it's had some selling today. Obviously got a little bit of a boost yesterday, but it's still trading above the 50 and the 100-day moving average, so slightly buoyant. There was sort of chat today as well, actually, which I talked to you about. Then some analysts now saying, yeah, okay, recession is indeed on the cards, but we might have a soft landing. Basically, we'll have a mild recession. But again, the R word is still being talked about. I didn't really want to talk about it too much today because I've been talking about it a lot. So that's the S&P 500. Be interesting to see where the US goes. The other thing, very quickly, another story I wanted to quickly share with you as well. Tesla. I believe it was late last night. Muskie, richest man in the world, apparently. He announced that one of his new plants is losing billions. losing billions. Now, don't forget, he's also already spoken about reducing 10% of salaried staff because of economic slowdown. And he has spoken quite openly about his beliefs that we are going to have a recession. So it'll be interesting to see where Tesla opens today on the back of that information. Okie doke. So, yeah, don't forget, you can ask me questions anytime you wish. This is what I'm here for. If you have anything you'd like to ask me, or just even if you just want to say hello, it'd be nice. I'm always here for that. But yeah, the main event, which the market will be waiting for, don't forget that starts at 3 p.m. UTC. That's the Jerome Powell's testimony to Congress. We'll see what he has to say today. If there's no questions for me, and don't forget, you can always ask me questions whenever you want. Don't be shy. Give it a try, as they say. Okay, if there's no questions, not a problem. Not a problem. Don't forget, you can leave, if you think of a question later, you can put it in the comments. I do see them, and I will answer that question again next time I'm online. So, feel free to do that. Reach out to me that way, if you like. Don't forget, I'll be back online again tomorrow at 8 a.m. UTC to discuss the morning session. We'll also cover what Jay Powell has said tonight at his testimony and how the market's reacted. Plus, we'll look at a couple of other ongoing stories and any breaking news. And again, don't forget, tomorrow, I'm also on again at 1 p.m. UTC to discuss what's happened so far in Europe and look ahead to what might happen in the US session. Okay. As I always say, if you're watching me on Facebook and you've enjoyed this episode or found it useful, by all means, follow us if you like. If you're watching me on YouTube and you've enjoyed this content and you've liked it, subscribe if you like. Hit the notification button so you know next time I'm going live. If you enjoyed this episode and you found it useful, give me one of those. It's nice to know that you're liking it, and it puts a smile on my face. But anyway, till next time. Remember, these little videos are for educational purposes only, and in no way whatsoever should ever be taken as financial advice. I always suggest you do your own research and do your own due diligence. And of course, know the risks at hand before entering any trade. Till next time, every single one of you, trade safe.